Hello and hi, my dear friends. Today I come to you to tell a most inspirational story of a man called as a Colonel Harald Sanders. Was the founder of the most famous company called KFC. Yes, everyone heard this company name, everyone heard this reputation, and the man who had been rejected and who had been disappointed from his business, wherever he went out, he only receiving rejection. No one received him, no one welcomed him. So when he tried 1009 times, he was only saw the disappointment. So after 1009 times, 1010, it gave him a real success. At that moment, he became a successful guy, and he became a very great guy, and he was considered himself was the founder of the KFC. Today, one of the billionaire company, one of the most popular company, which produced the chicken and which produced the food across the world. Before I tell the story of a man called as Colonel Harald Sanders, now I ask you the question: how many times you have been disappointed? How many times you have been rejected? How many times you have been rejected from the interviewers? So when you went out to the job, when you went out searching for the jobs, and how many times you have been rejected when you failed in examinations, and when you have been rejected in running the company? 1 time, 10 times, even 100 times. But now I am going to tell you the story of a man then who failed and who disappointed and who rejected more than 1009 times. It is really unbelievable, but it was true. It was true. The man then who we are remembering him as the owner of the KFC, this man was rejected and disappointed more than 1009 times. But after 1009 times, he never lost the hope. And after 1009 times, once again he tried and he succeeded in his aim. And he became one of the greatest entrepreneurs and one of the greatest guy then who founded the very famous company called KFC. Today, I will going to tell you about the life and the success and the struggle of a man called as Colonel Harald Sanders, then who was considered and who is considered the founder of a most famous company called KFC. The owner of KFC, he was born in 1890 in Henryville, Indiana, US. When he was 6 years old, his father passed away. Yes, at a very small age, when father was passed away, everything came on his shoulder, and he never thought about his calling because his father left with him many siblings. So when he took care of all those siblings, he never thought about the schooling, he never thought about enjoyment, because of the reason is a huge poverty, because of the reason is very early age his father was passed away. When he was in 7th grade, he dropped out of schooling because of reason he wanted to look after his family. He wanted to earn something to feed his family. At the age of 16, the same guy called as the Colonel Harald Sanders joined in United States Army. Then after being honorably discharged a year later, he got hired by laborer. However, he got fired for fighting with a co-worker While he worked for the railway, he studied law until he ruined his legal career by getting into another fight. Sanders was forced to move back with his mom and get a job selling life insurance in the year 1920. So this man went out and he founded himself a ferry boat company. So when he tried cashing in his ferry boat business to create a lamp manufacturing company, only to find out that another company has already sold a better version of his lamp. So what this man had doing at the time, there was no options. He tried many times. He stood on his own feet and he stood to make something. He wanted to create something for his well-being, for his family. He tried a lot. He wanted to make sure that wanted to earn something to feed his family. So, but this lamp vision of his founding the lamp, it was also didn't catch the right break. So he left that work. And it was not until the age of 40 that he began selling the chicken dishes in a service station. Until then, he never found any kind of a good job, any kind of a good business that gave him the right reputation, that gave him the real earning the money. Until then, he never thought about himself because there was no right chance that came to him and gave the space to him to work for a longer time. So he was in the year 40. He was only went out to selling the chicken dishes in a service station. And when he began to advertise his food, and there was a argument with a competitor at that moment, there was a kind of a combat between his competitor with himself. So it was also not succeeded him a lot until the World War II. Then he forced himself to close it down, then all kind of business what he actually wanted to do. Following the war, he tried to franchise his restaurant. His recipe was rejected 1009 times. Yes, so that's why I told you for the very first time. So this man was rejected. This man was disappointed from the society. Then actually he tried a lot. He put all his effort to make himself to be the greatest guy, to be the good guy, but the chances are not giving him much success. Then after 1009 times, at last, the destiny helps him. The destiny, the fortune is waiting for him and welcomed him and made him to be the greatest guy of all the time. He had some charisma, he had some power that enables him to be the great guy. So he never sit and idle, and at last, after 1009 times, his recipe that the named called as Kentucky Fried Chicken was succeeded. And after 1009 times, his a dream that he wanted to do something, that a secret recipe called Kentucky Fried Chicken was very popular across the state, and it was really helpful for the many people. And he pursued his dream of spreading KFC franchisee and hiring KFC workers across the country. Sanders finally hit really a big success, and KFC was expanded internationally, and it sold the company of $2 million. Then even though that we cannot easily predict a date, it means 15.3 million today. So when we calculate, so when he sold his company for the $2 million, when we comparison today, it approximately $15.3 million. Even today, the Sanders remain the central in the KFC branding, and his face still appears then in the logo. But even he was not the owner at the time, he sold out to the company to someone else. Because of this fortune, because of this man's great achievement, the company which was brought from him, it was never changed the face of that real owner called as the KFC's. Even today, Sanders remained the central in the KFC branding, and his face still appears in the logo of the company, that is KFC. Then, while suit and western string tie continue to symbolize a very delicious then country of fried chicken all over the world, at the age of 90, the Sanders passed away, but he achieved the success at the age of 65 years old. When he was 65 years old, he succeeded in his dream and made his dream came true at the time. He never thought that he was already old enough to think about the age was only the number. This man has shown each and every one of us, age was only the number. Age was not a matter, but the inspiration, but the charismatic attitude, but the effort, right effort, the real effort, or real dedication towards our work that can give us a right success, whatever the age we have. So, with the memorable, the inspiring story of the greatest guy, then what I am going to just tell to you, at the age of 90, this man was passed away, the owner of the KFC, then who made everything was possible after 1009 times of rejection, 1009 times of disappointment. And now, at the time, there were around 6,000 KFC locations in 48 countries. By 2013, there were an estimated 18,000 KFC locations in 118 countries. It was really a great achievement that I'm going to tell to you. It was right great achievement that was made by this greatest guy. The headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky. It is the world's second largest restaurant chain as measured by the sales after McDonald's. Over 30,000 locations globally in 150 countries as of today's 2024 record. Now, it is time to think about ourselves, then what is our age, then what is our aim, what we are going to do. If we heard these kind of inspirational stories of a guy that who made everything that was possible, even though, so when we think that it is not possible by us, then if we are trying 1 time, 10 times, or even 100 times, just the man who made and who achieved his success after 1009 times, why it is not possible by us? So once we are going to try, we're thankful for him, to this man, then who was really a good inspiration for each and every one of us. So we hope that everyone should follow these kind of biggest personalities who gave the right directions to us by inspiring their own stories. In my next video, then I will come back to you. So a lot of things and many inspirational stories, many motivational skills and motivational stories. Until then, thanks, bye-bye, and take care.